It seems like everywhere I go, everyone's talking about the recession, from increased grocery prices to how expensive everything is getting. And even though I've cut out many expenses over the years through our experience with minimalism, there's a few things that I've done differently or that I plan on doing differently this year in order to save more money. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 15 items that I do not plan on buying this year. And hopefully these quick money saving tips will not necessarily serve as strict rules, but more of as a guide in the hopes that some of these can help you cut your own expenses in places that you may not have considered. The first item on the list is unnecessary vitamins, and I use the word unnecessary specifically because I'm somebody that does value taking vitamins. So for example, I definitely want to be taking a vitamin D because it's important for thyroid health, and because I have Hashimoto's, that's something that I definitely want to keep taking. But when I was looking through my expenses on a monthly basis to try to figure out where I could cut back on, I realized that vitamins was an area that I could tweak back a little bit. What I mean by this is that I was taking a multivitamin that already had vitamin D3 in it, and I was taking a vitamin D3 supplement separately. So when I cut that out, I eliminated $9 per month just specifically from doing that. Then I went to look at my vitamin B, and I realized that the percentage says to take 2 capsules per day, but the daily value is well above 100%. So really in reality, I could take 1 capsule per day and cut my expenses in half without actually having to stop taking these things altogether, because these little things add up over time. Item number 2 on the list is birthday cakes. So John just had a birthday, and I could not bring myself to go to the store and spend $20 or $30 on a small cake that I could very well make myself at home for well under $5. I had most of the ingredients, so really I just basically went out and bought some stuff to make some whipped cream, and I let him have at it at decorating his own cake. That was definitely a lot more fun. So now going forward, I'm definitely going to make it more of an experience of decorating our own cake together rather than going to the store and purchasing this item for a much more expensive price. Item number 3 is groceries without comparing the price per unit of measure. Groceries have definitely been rising in price, and you may have heard the hack of shopping for generic brands in order to save you money. But if you haven't looked at the unit of measure, you may want to look into that. So for example, I buy almond milk every single week recurrently. And when I went to look at the different containers that they had, they looked like they were a similar size, but one was measured in gallons and one is measured in liters. It could be easy for me to look at the prices and say, well, they're very similar prices and they look like a similar container. But if I actually calculate the price per the unit of measure, I can clearly find the cheaper option that I can buy recurring. And that way it will save money not only on that purchase, but every single week thereafter. Item number 4 is purchasing items that I will rarely use. So sticking with the cake example, we don't own a mixer, but for the very few times a year that I actually do make a cake, a whisk will do, or I can borrow it from a family member or a friend. I'm definitely warming up to the idea that sometimes either borrowing or finding a different solution, such as the whisk, can be much more beneficial financially for those items that are rarely going to be used. Number 5 is complicated skincare regimens. In the past, I definitely was somebody that would buy all sorts of serums and different things for my face, and I found that my skin health has definitely improved through my nutrition and through the supplements that I take. And because of that, I've been able to really pare down the items that I use to a very minimal few. The items that I use on a routine basis are basically coconut oil as my moisturizer, my foaming castile soap as my face wash, and then my tinted sunscreen and lip balm / blush. And that's it. I've found that I don't need all those other complicated serums and multi-step processes that never really did anything for me other than deplete my wallet. Item number 6 is items for work that are not truly necessary. And this really applies more to people that have like office type jobs. So for me, for example, I'm a nurse and I work for an employer. So not necessarily for people that work like contracting, that need tools in order to work. I know of some people that really love to make their office space feel like a home away from home. And so they decorate and they get, for example, that golden stapler to make it just kind of cozy and nice. And if this works for you and it makes you happy, then great, power to you. But I think of it this way: the more money that I spend on work, the more time that I have to spend at work rather than with my family. And my priority is the second. So I have been wearing the same rickety torn up scrubs for a while, and I should probably replace them if I cared about being presentable. But because I go to work to make money, not to spend money, I'm going to keep wearing them and my old nursing shoes until they just can't go any further. I also don't spend any money on work gatherings or just work-related events. If there's free food and it's free, I'm game. But if I have to pay money to go or to buy any particular item in order to be there, you can assume that I will most likely not be there. There is a caveat to this, and that is that I really value giving. I think that giving changes us in that it helps remove our greed and it helps us improve a mindset of prosperity and contentment. So for example, when 3 of my coworkers got pregnant around the same time, I contributed towards that. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to pay for the lunch and learns or that I'm going to buy colorful scrubs with all sorts of different patterns. That I will definitely pass on. Number 7 is disposable items. From menstrual care to sponges to cloth napkins, wherever there is a reusable option, I will opt for that. I've mentioned reusable items before. I actually have 2 different videos for a total of 50 disposables that you can swap out for the reusable to save the environment, to save money, and to save time to and from the store to get these items. But this year, I have a couple of different new ones. The example that I'll share with you is that I used to hate rainy, cloudy days. And here in Georgia, especially in winter, it just seems like it's dark all the time. And so to make these gloomy days a little bit more cozy, I bought some fairy lights and some faux candles. But to avoid constantly spending on batteries, I purchased a rechargeable set. And voila! Coziness without the monthly expense. Number 8 is workout equipment. Over the last few years, I've definitely been focusing on improving my health, and fitness is definitely something that I am interested in, but I now have realized that there's not a whole lot of things that I actually need. I used to have a treadmill and a whole bunch of different equipment, but I found that body weight exercises have really been my favorite. So I now just basically have a yoga mat and some bands without having to have all these things taking up room in my home or spending more money on these things that I may or may not actually end up using. I also think that it can be really helpful to kind of prove it to yourself that you've built this habit of doing whatever particular activity you want to do before you go buy those items for that activity. Building the habit of actually exercising before you go out and buy the treadmill and then realize that you never used it, and then you feel guilty getting rid of it because you didn't use it. Number 9 is baskets and organizers. I think this is definitely important if you want to cut back on buying more items, because we can often think of decluttering as organizing, and they're not the same thing. If we have this particular piece of furniture or basket or box or whatever it might be, it's just like our natural tendency to want to stuff it with things and fill it up because it's empty and I need to take advantage of this space. And if we buy a basket just because it's cute and we don't necessarily have something to put in it, it's much more likely that we're gonna find some things to put inside that basket. So I'm deciding that I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail and we'll just eliminate that altogether. I'm definitely not getting rid of the ones I already have though, because I'm a lover of baskets. Number 10 is purses, jewelry, or accessories. Over the years, I have gotten rid of my brand name purses. I'm no longer interested in those sorts of things. But this last year, I got rid of my Apple Watch and my Michael Kors watch. And that hurt, honestly. It was difficult because I had this particular item that at one point I enjoyed wearing. At one point, it was part of my style. But I realized, and I had to be honest with myself, that even when I forced myself to put it on as a trial to see if I would actually wear it again, I didn't feel comfortable in it. It was no longer representative of my style or who I am or what I want in life. I just want the particular items that are my favorite that I'm gonna go to every single day. And so unless, for example, my purse rips and I can't fix it, I will not be purchasing anymore this year. Number 11 is a simple one, but it's home decor. So things like table runners or seasonal decor, things like that. In the past, I used to definitely want to decorate, especially for Christmas time because it's my favorite. But this last year, besides our Christmas tree and our nativity, I was very minimal with our decorations. And actually, I had pine cones that we could just paint and put glitter on. I also used to be one that would love to change out the runners on the table and just different decor for different seasons or different holidays. And I have totally eliminated that, and I just want to admire the beauty of our handmade table that my husband made. Number 12 is alcoholic drinks. I don't know how many times I'm going to admit to these things. That last year I purchased some moonshine just because I wanted to try it. I was in Tennessee and I realized I didn't like it, so I had to toss it. But when I was decluttering our refrigerator, I realized that we have a bottle of tequila that has been there for over 2 years. That clearly means that we do not drink those things. So we don't need to be purchasing any more of these items just so they can sit in our fridge and take up space. And not only that, but it's expensive stuff. Number 13 is makeup. Unless I run out of something, I don't plan on buying any more makeup this year because I've found my go-to basics. And honestly, besides my tinted sunscreen and my lip balm / blush in one, I don't really wear makeup except for maybe once a week or when we have a special occasion or event. So I do not need to be purchasing any more of these items this year. Number 14 is shaving products. Last year, I invested in a safety razor as well as a box of blades. And between these two purchases, it is enough that I will not have to purchase any more shaving products this year. And as far as like a shaving cream, I basically just use soap and water and then follow up with coconut oil as a moisturizer. So that is an expense I have definitely slashed completely from this year. Number 15 is a weird one, but it's something that I really wanted to share with you because it's been really helpful to me, and that is pillows and pillowcases. Okay, hear me out. When I had John, I had really bad sciatic pain, and so I was seeing a chiropractor and trying to work on my posture because I'm really bad at that and I need to work on that. But one of the things that he told me is to sleep without a pillow so that I could sleep flat on my back. And at first it was really, really difficult because I'm a crazy sleeper. I do all sorts of really weird poses when I'm sleeping. But the more I did it, the more I found improvement in my posture and my spinal health and just that pain that would not go away. I do not plan on buying any more pillows or pillowcases or just pillow related stuff for sleep. Let me know. Do you sleep with a pillow or could you ever see yourself sleeping flat without a pillow? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And bonus number 16 is the higher, more expensive phone data plans. I work as a home nurse, meaning that I visit patients in their home. And so I do need internet for GPS and a hotspot as well. But because I have had instances where my phone loses signal and I'm in the middle of nowhere, I typically plan my routes before I actually head into the home. And I find that because I'm on my phone a lot for work, it can be really easy to justify that I need that higher speed internet because it's for work. So this year I decided that I'm gonna take that unlimited data plan and just take it back a notch for 2 different reasons. One, of course, it can save me money, but 2, I think that it kind of forces me to be more aware of the data that I am using. Because once that high speed ran out, I had to wait until the next cycle for it to start all over again. So those are my 15/16 things that I do not plan on purchasing this year. But let me know, what are some ways that you plan on cutting back on your own expenses? Let us know down in the comments below so that we can all learn more ways to save more money. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss when I post a new video. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.